because you wanted to film and be sure that you get a record if in fact police tried to implant provocateurs in order to justify police action. You're not really finding that, though, right?
No, in fact, I don't come, to an event, and I've been to many, preconceived. I go to report the facts.
But you thought that you may find some what we're calling provocateurs, meaning actual factions of the government.
Oh, I said that on your show last week.
Yeah, you say that from time to time they will do that on purpose to give them justification for police action.
Exactly. Let's be clear. I have never come to Denver. I've been here many times, but I've never come here to cover a big political event, especially a huge national security event like this one. We have covered Canada. We have covered Austin, Texas, the Fortune 500. We have covered Seattle. I've covered many other events. Just earlier this year, they had the Security and Prosperity Partnership North American Reunion Summit in Ottawa, in Montebello, and some of our camera folks and the actors up there caught police dressed up like anarchists, attacking police with the news cameras so they could then rubber bullet attack the peaceful crowds. We said, look, the same
It was a way to get rid of protesters.
But then it came out to CBC, and the police admitted it was federal police, so it's on record, CBC, all the Canadian papers, literally all of them. The police had to apologize, said we're launching an investigation from the top. Now, in the case of the Fortune 500 they had in Austin in 1999, there were these huge cops. They weren't the little meth head, dirty leg anarchists running around. You could tell they were cops starting fights. I went up to them and said, stop it, officers. Austin police ran across and said, stop it, Jones. And then we backed them off there. So my own town, the cops tried it. And so we've seen this in England, we've seen this other places. So I came in here saying, well, I've seen it happen, we've covered it, we'll see what happens here. Well, I have to say, everywhere I've been, and I've done all these videos of Denver beating people up, and I've criticized those, but I have to say, very professional police, very nice. They put up with a lot of crap from the anarchists.
Yeah, they did. They're actually showing restraint.
They're showing a lot of restraint.
Now, this is from a guy who loves criticizing.
Oh, I'll do it in a minute if they need to be criticized, but I don't have a hatred of police.
They're very organized. They're very, and I heard they were polite. They were well-mannered. They were organized. They don't have itchy trigger fingers.
No, they're very restrained. Let's say what the anarchists are doing.
I want to
ask him a quick question. Would you be upset if you go to a city and there isn't an incident? I mean,
but there have been incidents by the anarchists against us.
Because the reason Mike's asking that is we're convinced that a lot of the protesters, they say, we're totally nonviolent.
Not true.
I know that. I know that they want to make a name for themselves, and they want...
No, we just want to report what the facts are.
I'm not talking about you.
But I'm saying us.
I'm talking about...
But he was asking if I would be upset.
Right.
I was answering his question.
Now, let's talk about Recreate 68, because I believe Spagnola's a publicity whore. I believe...
Well, they act like foundation-funded limousine liberals who are there to make demonstrators look dumb.
He has no passion. He never...
Listen, they're in clown suits, wizard outfits, saying we're going to levitate, which they know is going to fail, which makes everybody look like clowns.
Some of them are dressed like Harry Potter.
Jesters.
And then he schedules his events. See, when I protested in the 60s and 70s, I'm a bit older than you.
You want one big one.
And then, but we didn't schedule it and tell people where we're going to be. And another thing we didn't do, if we got to get on a radio show like he does for an hour or two.
We talk about our issues.
Exactly. You don't talk about yourself.
Hey, we're against the war. We're against the secret torture. We're against the camps. We're against the warrantless wiretapping. Instead, it's, we're clowns. We're the best. We're not violent.
He's talking about himself. He's talking about his group. He's talking about his cocktail parties and pedicures. And
no, he's bragging about, look, it's all about their personal power trip, how they get to meet these Hollywood people, and how they get to go meet Sean Penn. But let me tell you what they've done to us.
Okay,
it's incredible. It's incredible. It's all on video.
They claim that they're totally peaceful, and
they're rabid animals.
You were inciting. They claim you were inciting police in order to get good video.
Okay, here's the deal.
Okay, what happened?
Let me just give you a quick rundown. We show up Sunday. We go out, film some of the demonstrations. They're out there running up, clashing with police. In other cities, the police would have clobbered them. The police stood back and just basically let them, run into them, bump into them, get aggressive. It was all over the news. And so then we go out Monday morning, and by about 11 a.m., we go out to the federal courthouse. And we're live video feeds to Infowars.com.
This is on video.
Yeah, it's live video feed like we are right now on Infowars.com of you, but also it's archived there. It's saved. After we cut the feed, it's been archived for you. Your camera doesn't lie. There it is. So this is the great equalizer. Ward Churchill, the guy that said that everybody was Adolf Eichmanns and deserved to die in the towers, the daycare kids, the secretaries, the food preparers,
He's here protesting.
the waitresses, they're there. Aaron just walks over nicely. Aaron, they don't know who he is.
Right.
Aaron walks over while I'm interviewing some other anarchists very quietly because I'm making a film. You know, I'm making a film. I've been making a film for several years about the police state. So I've been to a bunch of other events, and in our film, we're going to show that they were restrained unless something else happens to the police the next few days. We tell the truth. You know, it's cinema verite.
So he walks up to Warcher.
He walks up and says, "I would like to have an interview." And they just start saying, "We're not violent. We're not violent," and start slapping and hitting the $10,000 camera. So they're just, you know, anybody basically who doesn't look like they're on methamphetamines and doesn't have tattoos all over them and devil tattoos. And I'm not even bashing those people. The point is, he didn't look right. They're bigoted. They're closed-minded. It's on video. They go after him. Now, I'm over here, and I'm just interviewing some anarchists, and they got bandanas on. I'm like, "Why are you here?" And they're talking to us. And then somebody runs up the bullhorn saying he should recreate 68. And I bullhorn people 100 yards away if it's a government event, you know, from the perimeter to you know, to educate or march for the public. This guy's got it right in my face. My eardrums are literally rattling, but I ignore it. You know?
And he says he's from Recreate 68.
He says he's from Recreate 68. He says, "You're causing a disturbance. You need to leave." So this is a false flag. He's blaming me with what he's doing. You're messing up the speeches they're giving, you know, 50, 60 yards away up on a little, you know, the steps in front of the courthouse. And there's police across the street all just watching. You know, they're not. Other cities, they move in and get close and be provocative and block people off and start fights. Excuse me. That wasn't happening here. So the police are across the street being restrained. And I'm like, "Hey, man." So I'm trying to talk to him, and I don't say, "Stop bullhorning me in the ear." He starts screaming, "I'm a racist," making all this. That's all they can say, all this crazy stuff that they do. And they got picked up by the Denver Post. And then they start coming in around me, and others arrive, and they say, we are the people running this meeting. You will leave. You're causing a disturbance to me." And they start poking me.
So in other words, only one kind of protest is allowed.
No, my First Amendment, I'm out on the sidewalk. I'm out on the edge of the sidewalk in the grass, literally quietly interviewing people, and they don't want me there. And they say, "Alex Jones, you've lied about us and said that we are a group that's violent." And I've been in some radio debates with them, and I'm saying, no. I mean, you had people on your website who were saying, build shields, have clubs, get in fights. All they know is that I'm saying, and so they start screaming at me, yelling, and then they start elbowing. Their favorite thing is to go right in your ribs. And so they're elbowing me, and I'm going, whoa, whoa. And it's like, look, he's hitting us. And I'm going, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go ahead and leave. This is live video feed. This is going out. And they're like, we don't care. And so when you start leaving, that's the real victory, and they start bumping into you. And so finally this older hippie bumps into me, and I just go ahead and bump back into him. And you know, a lot of people are actually fans of my show on my website. They weren't all bad. It was the leadership.
What about the police? They arrested about 100 people.
Well, that happened later in the night when they charged in and ran into them, and we talked to eyewitnesses. We got there right after it happened, who they were throwing things at police. I mean, and this isn't some, you know, clean-cut off-duty cop telling me this. This was, we got in and did live video feed. We got in the little, you know, trolley, what are those called, with the bicycle? Yeah. With the live video feed, me and Richard, and had this lady pulse around, and we talked to others. The feed was cutting out some, the folks saw most of it, and we were talking to people on the street, people on bicycles, and saying, yeah, the crowd was just yelling, screaming, throwing things, and ran into the police. And then so the police went ahead and kind of grabbed the front of the group and arrested about 100 people. So the point is, the police have hired provocateurs. They've done all this in the past in other cities. Here, they don't have to. And I'm not saying they want to. These people, you couldn't scientifically craft people who look more clowny, act more stupid, act more degenerate. I mean, you know, and Fox News is out there, and
no purpose. In fact, they were making.
They're running up, flipping people off,
they were
screaming, cussing.
They were making fun of them. They look like Harry Potter, some of them. And then the thing about Spagnola and his gang is they never talk about their issues. They mainly talk about themselves. And this guy is nothing but a publicity whore. This guy.
And they know if they act like clowns and act stupid, the mainstream corporate media doesn't want to cover real hardcore polarizing issues like 5,000 dead U.S. troops, a million dead Iraqis. They don't want to talk about things like that, so they can go set, you know, they know they're going to win the day. If they show up in a geek outfit with a pointed hat saying they're going to lift the men, that discredits everybody. Meanwhile, down the streets, 500 men and women with their children, all clean cut, out there with real issues in the Falun Gong about Chinese oppression. They don't get any coverage because there's clown land, people running around screaming, cussing, and jester outfits. And then they also, Michelle Malkin's out there, and I start confronting her, and her bodyguards are bumping me, so I start screaming back at them.
Explain to people, Michelle.
She's been a co-host for Bill O'Reilly, big neocon. Right. She
with Fox.
She said I was a liar about the Marines throwing the puppy off the cliff. Right. And later, Marines had to admit, and they kicked the guys out, which was good, who did it, so it doesn't demonize the whole Marine Corps.